So if you've been subscribed to this channel for any length of time, you'll know that every now and then I'll throw a curveball at you and I will do a video that isn't about fragrances. Originally, this channel was created with the intention of talking about stuff that I found interesting, not just fragrances. I sort of just fell into doing that. And so if you're only here because you're interested in finding out about a cheap budget fragrance, you know, I love that you're here, but this isn't the video for you. I'm going to be talking a little bit about veganism here, and that has been a huge part of my life for a long time.
You just drank half and half, baby.
Freeze! Vegan police! Vegan police! Todd Ingram, you're under arrest for veganity violation. Code number 827. Imbibing a half and half. It's bullroar. No vegan diet, no vegan powers.
And I've got some stuff I want to talk about here. So if that sounds interesting to you, by all means, please continue watching. It would mean the world to me. But if you are not a vegan, and you know, I completely understand, if this is of no interest to you, then just wait a couple of days for a fragrance video. That's all I can say. Like, I appreciate that there are people here that are part of this big, beautiful community we've created that are not vegan, and you know, I respect you guys, and I'm not trying to demean you and I'm not trying to disparage you or speak ill towards you. This isn't about that at all. This is just about an issue that I've got within the vegan community, and I'm going to talk about that a little more further into the video. So if you are unaware of what veganism is,
like, why are you a vegetarian? I say, well, why shouldn't I be a vegetarian? Like, why not? Give me a reason. I can think of 10 reasons why I should be a vegetarian. Give me one why I shouldn't. And it's always the same argument, which is like, well, you can't get certain vitamins. You know, come on. We know those people, most people argue that, don't give a fuck about vitamins, period.
Veganism is a lifestyle. It's often considered a diet, but it isn't a diet. It is a lifestyle that aims to reduce animal suffering in your own individual life. So for instance, it's easy to look at food and drink and just go, all right, a vegan doesn't eat food or doesn't have any beverages that contain any animal products whatsoever. And it is that. It is about a plant-based diet, but it is also about living a lifestyle where you aim to minimize your harm and your involvement within animal exploitation, animal abuse. And so it's a bit more complicated than just changing your diet. You've also got to change the clothes you wear. You've got to change different aspects about your life. And so I hope with that little explanation, I've helped educate those that may be a little confused about it. This video is basically going to be about, there's a subset of the vegan community that I have umbrage with, I have issue with, that try and gatekeep veganism from other people that may not necessarily be able to afford living 100% vegan lifestyle. So if that sounds interesting to you, let's get into the video. But if this doesn't sound like something that you're going to be into, by all means, I completely understand you're not watching, and you know, I still respect you. I still respect your own individual ideas, and I'll see you in the next video. But if this sounds interesting to you, let's get into the video.
But baby, don't you even speak. Don't explain, don't call my name a little longer.
If you're a vegan and you're wondering what you're supposed to do with old leather goods, you're not alone. There's a lot of us out there and we're left wondering what we're supposed to do with leather goods like this leather jacket here. Now, I bought this years before I was a vegan. I was a vegetarian, but I bought this leather jacket at the time, and I wore the absolute hell out of it. You know, obviously it's got a lot of wear and tear, but I restored it today, and I'm going to be donating it to an op shop or giving it away to a mate. But I'm constantly reminded on the forums and the vegan Reddit that vegans that wear leather still are fake vegans or something like that. Like, I'm toning it down for YouTube, but they have some very choice words for vegans that still wear leather work boots or anything like that. And I just wanted to let you guys know that in this humble vegan's opinion, that is absolutely classist and elitist behavior. Now, typically the kinds of vegans that think like that are upper middle class, wealthy vegans at universities, and they're from the city. If you're a vegan and you're struggling to make ends meet, you can barely afford to feed yourself. We're literally about to hit a recession. The cost of living crisis is insane right now. If you can barely afford to put food on your table and you're struggling with your veganism and you're saying to yourself, how am I supposed to afford to buy a pair of vegan leather work boots that are 300, 400 bucks Australian, doesn't really matter where you are in the world really. How can I afford to both eat and stay vegan while also buying new vegan leather alternatives? And there's a very simple answer to that, and that's the vegan community is rooted in the hardcore punk scenes across the world.
We can grow together, make this shit whole planet better. In time, consider someone else. Stop consuming animals.
Veganism, despite existing for hundreds of years, thousands of years even, in many different forms, what we know as veganism today is rooted in the hardcore punk scene and the punk rock scene. And that is very working class. And I don't think a lot of those old punk rockers would think too highly of vegans gatekeeping veganism from other potential vegans simply because of costs of vegan leather alternatives and things like that. If you're out there and you're struggling and you can only afford to go to a thrift store or an op shop, as we say here in Australia, and buy, you know, a $20 pair of old leather work boots that are still in good nick, absolutely go out there and buy those boots. To me, veganism is about doing the best you can with what you've got. And if you're able to maintain a vegan diet, maybe your partner's vegan as well, that is all that matters. If you can only afford to buy old leather gear to wear to work, by all means. I don't think that makes you any less of a vegan, and I'm tired of the notion that people are less vegan simply because they cannot afford to buy these fancy, expensive vegan leather alternatives. I mean, if that's you and you can afford those things, great, fantastic, more power to you. But I don't think there's anything wrong, for example, with, you know, an aspiring vegan, somebody that's dipping their toes into the water and they don't want to, and they can't afford to buy new clothes. They've only got their old leather jacket to wear. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think a lot of the issue is in contributing to the production and manufacturing of new leather goods. Now, a lot of the vegans on Reddit and stuff will say that by buying old leather goods, you are promoting that business. You're essentially incentivizing that business into buying old leather goods and facilitating the sale of old leather goods. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because generally speaking, the only people buying that stuff are people that cannot afford to buy new clothes anyway. And again, that ties back into the classism, and it ties back into the elitism that you've got pretty much worldwide right now. So I wanted to just cut right to the chase and say that if you're an aspiring vegan, if you're somebody that is new to veganism, don't let people shame you for not being able to afford fancy new vegan leather alternatives. If you can only afford to buy old leather work boots, buy old leather work boots. I don't think that makes you any less of a vegan. But yeah, don't let anybody shame you into this, because I think, like a lot of things, veganism is a spectrum. And just because you still wear old leather work boots, I don't think that makes you any less of a vegan. Somebody wearing $1,000 Gucci vegan leather boots just makes no sense. Anyways, that's just my 2 cents, and I think I made this video simply because there was so much negativity on the vegan subreddit, and we all know that Reddit is a cesspit anyways. If you're gonna comment and you've got some opinions to share, by all means, but please be respectful of other people's decisions here. You know, I try and cultivate a very welcoming, positive community here. Anyway, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I really appreciate it. I had fun making this one. I had fun talking about something I'm so passionate about. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It means the world to me. And until the next video, my name is Aussie Marcel, and I will catch you guys around.